Oh, hey, Andy.
What is wrong, my friend? You don't seem your chipper American self.
I guess I ain't too happy to be seeing tonight's client. I'm still feeling the tongue lashing she gave me last time.
Ah, yes, the Senora d'Este. She certainly has a way with words.
It ain't that. It's just this sense I get. Like she thinks I can be a certain way just because she tells me to.
Aha. At least that makes her chord distortion clear, doesn't it? You know what it is, of course.
That lady's got control fallacies out the wazoo, and they've given her centuries of stress.
I do not know this term, wazoo, but you are correct. The woman who chooses immortality so that she can ensure her family makes the correct decisions probably has some control issues.
And taking out her stress on me.
Do not take her criticisms too much to heart, my friend. You are simply a convenient target, an element within her control.
That still don't make it much fun.
I will not deny that Senora d'Este is a confrontational client, but take her presence as a gift, however you can. A woman so powerful in her time has much to teach us. You have all the tools you need at your disposal to help her. Consider your approach.
All right, I think I'm ready.
I will leave you to meditate then. Be well, Samuel, and let this 3,000-year-old tell you, you are a fantastic therapist.
Oh, gosh. You're gonna make me blush. Get on out of here, boss. I can handle this.
I know you can.
I think I'm ready. And here she comes. A deep breath. Howdy, Senora. Nice to see you again.
Liar. You are as pleased to see me as I am to see you, therapist.
We're gonna get straight into it, huh? All right, lay it on me. Why ain't you happy to see me?
Because you are a worm.
Now, I've been called a lot worse. You're gonna need to be more specific than that, Senora.
You are a worm because of the way you wriggled into my mind the last time we spoke, leaving behind loathsome doubts. The only reason I am here is to confront you for your beastly behavior. I come to you in crisis, and you suggest that I am the cause of my own woe. Aren't you supposed to help me?
Senora, you came in here telling me that Art is dead. How am I supposed to help you with that?
I don't know. But telling me that my existence has been a complete waste of time is not comforting.
I definitely don't remember saying that, Senora. What I said is that you ain't gonna change the world for anyone, but that doesn't mean your work wasn't worth anything. That's what I call Nosferatu thinking. Remember what we talked about? There's always going to be people who want space wars, and there's always going to be people who want Michelangelo.
Michelangelo? Who is Michelangelo?
The guy what painted the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo.
Michelangelo did no such thing. Perhaps you are thinking of a man from New Jersey, or a turtle. It is Michelangelo.
Senora, you want to talk about wasting time? What's using me as a punching bag doing for you?
Very well. I will speak plainly. I am angry with you, Mr. Walls. Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time, effort, and pain, but to think that much of it was. This is most horrifying.
Listen carefully, Samuel. It is not only truth that harms the Senora, but also the way she...
Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste...
Listen carefully, Samuel.
Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time.
Listen carefully, Samuel.
Yes, perhaps not all I...
Listen carefully, Samuel.
Yes.
Maybe it'd help if we looked at that wording you used. A waste of time, effort, and pain. Even if you didn't achieve your goals in them efforts, you can't just say they were a waste of time. Now, if you were sitting in bed for 400 years watching bad TV, then I might agree with you.
A disgusting notion. I am already dead. I do not need my mind to actively decompose by watching Batflix's latest trash.
So maybe let's reserve waste of time for trash, huh? I can see why it'd be upsetting to see something you put a lot of effort into not work out.
It is more than upsetting. It is devastating. I did not just fail to bring the understanding of true beauty into the world, I failed to bring it to my own familia. I watched them die, Mr. Walls. It was not the physical death that caused me the greatest pain, but the spiritual death. They had no care for the Gonzaga name nor the Deste name. Despite my sacrifice and all my efforts, they pissed away my legacy.
Oh boy, sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
It is a dark and painful story, Mr. Walls. A story where my greatest joy turns to ash, and I was powerless to stop it. When last we met, did I tell you about my son?
No, I don't think so.
Federico. Ah, my dear Federico, my little clown, my delicate artist, my beautiful boy. I suffered for him, Mr. Walls. I put up with my husband, Frankie, and all his brutishness, all his licentiousness. All for Federico. I raised him to be intelligent and clever, to understand the gentle arts and philosophy. I raised him to be a Deste. But for all my efforts, I could not cool his Gonzaga blood, and it persisted for a century, to the ruin of our house.
I hate to break it to you, Senora, but every kid's got two parents, whether they know them or not, and kids have got minds of their own.
I refuse to believe that we are trapped by our blood. What was my destiny as a girl? Men of my time said it was to be servile and docile, a political pawn. What saved me from that fate? Knowledge, study, an appreciation of art, music, history, and literature. In the same way, I should have been able to save my son, but my failure did not end with my darling Federico. I was only 153 when the once great Gonzaga house surrendered all its honor to the hated Spanish. I stood by, useless as a statue, as the Gonzaga name burned in the war of the Mantuan succession.
What's this War of the Mantuan Succession all about?
Do you know nothing of history at all? It all began because my fool of a great-great-grandson, Vincenzo II, did not listen to me. Instead of dutifully procreating with his wife, he decided to impregnate mistresses. When he ate himself into the grave, the line of succession was broken, and the French and Spanish swarmed upon my home like cockroaches. I killed a great many of them myself, but it was not enough. Eventually, the Gonzaga lands were given away to both countries. Of course, this is common knowledge. I would have had your tutors beaten.
Senora, the only tutors I ever had showed up after eating a can of baked beans.
Disgusting.
So wait, there's a whole ass war going on and you're supposed to stop it? How's that work?
I gave up my humanity to guide my familia through the ages. If I could not do that, what was the point of becoming undead?
Senor, being a vampire gives us a lot of powers, but it doesn't give us the power to control a single human being, let alone a whole dynasty of them. When the heck have we ever listened to our betters? I ain't no historian, but I know enough to know people are liable to making the same mistakes over and over again. Humans have got that whole pesky free will thing that makes them do dumb things.
Perhaps you are correct. I understand what you are trying to do, Mr. Walls.
What am I trying to do, Senora?
You are trying to tell me that I've been living a lie for more than 400 years.
I ain't doing anything like that, Senora.
Do not fret, peasant. We are in agreement. I have been living a lie. We all have. As I told you last time, I know my own foolishness. But time has not made my mortal concerns fade. In my mind, I know that virtue, love, chastity, wisdom, honor, these kinds of words were created by men to make us supplicant. But, fool that I am, I still love the idea of virtue. I have loved it ever since I was a child.
The Signora seems to rely on insults when people do not meet her standards, including herself.
But, fool...
It ain't foolish to have ideals, Senora. Wanting to better ourselves is maybe the thing that makes us human.
Perhaps. But whose better do we strive toward? That I follow the better of old perverts is what makes me foolish.
Senora, people have been following the ideals of old perverts for thousands of years. Why are you a fool?
Do not mistake, Mr. Walls. We are all fools.
Oh, well, that's better then.
Mind your tone. I will tolerate a fool, but not an impertinent one. As I was saying, my folly was to fall in love with these ideals as a child. I used to love all the tales of Roman mythology. I saw myself in all the goddesses. I saw my strength and chastity in Diana. In Minerva, my wisdom. In Venus, I saw my timeless beauty and romantic nature.
Romantic nature?
Romantic nature? What a wretched parrot I hear. Do not look at me so. Yes, I was a romantic. Until reality came crashing down upon me. Look at this painting I had commissioned.
What am I looking at? I don't know much about art.
The figures standing upon the arch are Venus and Mars. Mars is portrayed by my idiot husband, Frankie. Beside him, I stand as Venus.
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking.
You may appreciate my beauty, peasant, but do not let your eyes linger upon my once supple body over long. This is art, not pornography. But look closer and you will see that even this art is a lie. This is the dream of a foolish girl. To be enjoined in pure romantic love with a handsome warrior. I believed so hard, Mr. Walls, that I thought I could make it true. But this handsome man is not Frankie. This is Frankie. He is not Mars, but Vulcan.
Well, he's got some abs. I'll give him that.
Yes, I did not shy from truth. But see how love's aim goes amiss and strikes his gangrenous penis rather than his heart. See the grapes behind him, for the drunkard is never far from his true love. See how he flails helplessly, as if begging a true warrior to put a sword in his belly.
I'm sensing we've got some work to do around your husband.
Whatever gave you that impression? The man was created solely to crush my view of the world and my place in it. Naturally, I might have some issues around him.
Senora, whatever problems your husband had, they were problems he had before he even heard of you. Anyone he could have married would have had the exact same problems with him. Ain't nothing to do with you.
Yes, you are indeed correct. One cannot blame a boar for being a boar, even if you dress him up as a man. It would have been better for all if he had married a sow.
At least everyone's expectations will be lined up, huh?
Quite so, Mr. Walls. I now believe that Frankie was the truest man I ever met. That is what broke my heart. I maintained the illusion that he was my Mars because that is what I needed. I was not ready to face the truth. Oh, but I knew. Even as a 15-year-old girl, I knew. But I could not accept that I was married to the legendary penetrator of Mantua. Is it any wonder that I preferred the lie of virtù? Is it any wonder that I still prefer to believe it? The problem is men. You are all weak animals who would give up your dignity for an evening in the company of Lucrezia Borgia.
Hold your horses there, Senora. I don't even know who the heck Lucretia Borgia is.
She is the inventor of twerking. All men flock to her, as I'm sure you would. They say she was blonde, but she looked like a redhead to me. You know what they say about redheads. Kissed by Lucifer.
Dang, Senora. Your overgeneralizations are building up and making you see whole groups of folks as awful. Now, I know you got your reasons for feeling the way that you do, real personal ones, but recognize where your experience is making you narrow your thinking. I mean, Senora, I'll be straight with you, as you're a tough lady. Here's where I think it's coming from. You're comparing people to gods, including yourself, and everyone's failing that test. Frankie weren't never going to be Mars. You weren't never going to be Venus. You weren't born out of no shell.
And you will never be anything but a peasant.
Heck, Senora, I'll be as surprised as anyone if I get invited to a high society dinner. I can tell I'm hitting a sore spot, but maybe that means that's what we've got to focus on.
I do not like you, Sam Walls. But you are correct. I betray my own purity of spirit with my anger. But I say, why should we not aim to be like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
The Signora has a rather dim view of humanity in all.
But I say, why should we not aim...
The Signora has a...
But I say, why should we not aim to be like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
Wait just a minute there, Senora. Humanity ain't worth preserving? I say you're wrong. Damn wrong. Look at yourself. Look at what you've created. Ain't no goddess has ever done what you've done. You brought some of the finest art ever produced into existence. You ran your own city, which is something I'm pretty sure Venus never did.
I suppose that is true. Our mortal concerns seem so pedestrian, though.
Senora, humanity is all we got. Even if we're immortal, every word we're speaking is a result of our humanity. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes, and some of us sound like peasants, but all that messiness is worth something. It makes us who we are. Senora, I don't think you're a goddess. I think you're way more interesting and impressive, because you're real.
Well, you have great wisdom for a peasant, Sam. And your kerchief is a fetching shade of red that matches your eyes.
Well, thanks, Senora. Let's focus on you, though. What happens if you're not that perfect goddess?
I suppose I have always felt that if I could not live to my ideals, I would be left with nothing. I would be discarded like Frankie's mistresses and die of some sex disease. Oh, Mr. Walls, I know you speak the truth. I wielded great strength in an age where women were not respected. But I alone feel the weight of my family's collapse, so I feel responsible for it. But I was the only person capable of preserving my family, Sam. That is what makes my failure so poignant.
All power over a situation rarely resides with one person, if at all.
But I was the only...
Senora, what if you weren't the only person capable of preserving your family? What if no one person was?
I don't know. I never considered such a thing.
Well, try to consider it now. What if you accepted that whatever was going to happen to your family was going to happen?
You sound like a Calvinist.
Never mind with the labeling for now. How would you feel if you knew nobody can control what happened to the Gonzaga house?
I think I would feel relieved.
Senora, whatever happened to your family, fault never belonged to you. You were the one who named yourself responsible. No one else did. Look at who you are. And I think you can be damned impressed at who that lady is.
Damn you.
Too late, Senora. Look, let's wrap up tonight, huh? I think you did great. You probably got some stuff to think about.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. I will see you in a month.
Of course, Senora. I'm looking forward to it.
Goodbye, Sam.
Samuel, it appears you have an admirer.
Oh, shucks.
I think Isabella d'Este has liked fewer than 5 people in her hundreds of years of existence, and you are one of them. Remember, though, that romantic entanglements between a therapist and client are absolutely forbidden, in case you are tempted.
Come on now, Andy. I ain't gonna do anything like that.
Of course, should the mind wander into fantasy, that is entirely acceptable.
Oh, you're just messing with me now.
I could not help it. It's rather cute. The First Lady of the Renaissance and humble cowboy Samuel Walls. Quite a picture, isn't it?
Okay, that's it. I'm getting a drink.
I'm sorry, Samuel. Please, drink. Ask Crimson for the Royal Virgin. It's my very best. I think you deserve it.
Yeah, whatever. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
And I thought I had family problems. I'll need me a Crimson special after that one. Howdy, Crimson. Think you could fashion me up one of them blood cocktails?
I reckon so. Got a lot on your mind tonight, cowboy.
Yeah, just thinking about family stuff. I got this client who's got some real tough family issues to go through, and it got me thinking about my own. Or my lack of family, at least.
You got any family left?
I've got a great granddaughter kicking around apparently, but she's got no connection to this old cowpoke. Not sure what she'd say if a man dressed like a cowboy introduced himself as her vampire relative from the 1800s.
I see your point. Sounds like you don't have many family problems then.
I reckon so. Family means a lot to my client, though. I hope my perspective's still useful.
How do you think she's handling her therapy so far?
I think she's doing pretty well, honestly. She spent a long time judging herself by her family's achievements, but I think she's starting to recognize the fruitlessness in that.
Seems like you don't need her family to be able to give her some hope.
I suppose not. Rich family problems were never going to be my specialty anyway. You got family back home, Crimson?
Yeah, I've got some family. We don't talk too much. They're not too fond of my lifestyle choices, but hey, at least I'm alive. And I get to hear them gossiping about how I don't age.
Well, you chose a good age to stop getting older. I often wish I weren't such a dusty old corpse, but death comes when it comes.
Sometimes he's still waiting for me to give him an opening.
Death always is. Pardon me for asking, but is there a reason you're choosing not to be a vampire?
There is, but I'm not talking about it tonight. A little mystery makes life a bit spicier, don't you think, cowboy?
Oh, I wasn't trying to pry or nothing.
Bullshit. I know you're curious. Here, consolation prize.
But what is it?
Black Widow. Black stuff's just food coloring. Figured you were in the mood for a scary lady tonight.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Think I'll take this to my coffin for a quiet night.
You do that, honey. And don't spill in Andy's coffin. He'll act like he's not mad, but you know he's mad.
Why should I be upset? What has happened has happened.
Not bad, cowboy. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, I'm going. See you later, Crimson. There we are. Gotta get me one of these fancy coffins for back home. Now, let's see. What am I in the mood for? I think I'm either gonna find a passage from Little Women that suits me, or I'm gonna watch Shemp get smacked in the head with a hot iron. Or I'm going to bed. These guys are great. Well, that's enough fun for one day. Good night, son. See you in hell.